So imagine for a second that there's a quiet, completely uninvited guest just making itself comfortable right under your feet. It doesn't make a sound. It definitely doesn't leave muddy footprints. You can't see it, and you absolutely cannot smell it. Yet this invisible intruder could be slowly building up to dangerous levels in the very foundation of your home. What exactly is it? And more importantly, how do you get rid of it?
Welcome to this explainer. I am so thrilled you're tuning in today. We are taking a really clear-eyed look at radon mitigation, specifically focusing on why it matters so much for basements, especially if you happen to live in Illinois. My goal here is to totally demystify this critical health and home safety topic. Look, we aren't here for fear-mongering today. We're here for the facts, for clarity, and to get you some actionable steps. We're going to break down exactly what's happening beneath your floorboards and how to fix it.
Here's a really quick roadmap for today. We'll cover the invisible indoor threat, the Illinois basement trap, testing your home, active radon mitigation, and finally, hiring and verification. All right, let's jump straight into part 1, the invisible indoor threat, understanding radon gas. You know, the craziest thing about radon is its sheer stealth. It's completely odorless and invisible, and it doesn't come from some chemical factory or a broken pipe down the street. It actually comes naturally from soil deposits right there in the ground beneath us. Because human senses just literally cannot detect it. I mean, you can't see a radon cloud, you can't smell a radon leak. It can quietly enter your home and build up to dangerous levels indoors if you just leave it unchecked. It's totally natural, sure, but inside the contained environment of a home, it becomes a really distinct hazard. Moving right along to Section 2, the Illinois basement trap, and how your home basically acts like a vacuum. So you're probably thinking, how on earth does gas from the dirt end up in my living room? Well, it's all about pressure. Step 1. In places like Illinois, temperatures fluctuate wildly, and our HVAC systems cycle on and off all day to compensate. Step 2. This creates pretty massive pressure differences between the inside of your house and the outside world. And Step 3, this dynamic actually creates what experts call a stack effect. Basically, your house acts like a giant unintentional vacuum cleaner, actively sucking air and the radon gas riding along with it from the ground directly into your lower living levels. Okay, so where exactly is this vacuum pulling all that air through? You're looking for common entry points like foundation cracks, floor wall joints, sumps, and just normal construction gaps. Now, a huge takeaway here is that the age or appearance of your home doesn't matter at all. It's a massive misconception that only old, drafty houses get radon. The source data explicitly points out that even incredibly well-built, brand-new construction homes can completely lack subslab ventilation. If you've got these physical pathways, that pressure is going to drive the soil gas right inside. Which brings us to Section 3, testing your home, gathering the evidence. Look, since our eyes and noses are totally useless against it, we have to pivot to testing. It is absolutely the only reliable method for detecting this stuff. And here's a mind-blowing fact. Radon levels vary significantly, even from neighborhood to neighborhood. Your neighbor across the street might have zero issues, while your house could be pulling in really high concentrations. Because of this, testing is the singular way to know your home's true risk. You have to measure the air in the spaces where you actually spend your time. If you use your basement as a home office, a gym, or a playroom, you need to test the air down there to truly grasp your daily exposure. When you do decide to test, you basically have two main routes. Short-term testing is fantastic for quick diagnostics. It identifies elevated levels rapidly, so you can take immediate action if you've got a massive spike. Long-term testing, on the other hand, runs for a longer duration and offers a much more representative picture of your average exposure over time, smoothing out those weird daily fluctuations. Either way, the data is super clear. Test results, not assumptions, must guide your next steps. Let's move to Section 4, active radon mitigation, expelling the intruder. Okay, let's assume you've tested and the numbers came back high. Take a deep breath. Don't panic. You're going to hear a term, active soil depressurization. It sounds incredibly intimidating and highly technical, doesn't it? But let's demystify it right now. Active soil depressurization is just the common mechanical approach to safely vent radon outdoors. It's simply a highly effective system designed to grab that soil gas before it enters your home and redirect it far, far away from your family's breathing zones. Don't think of it as a scary disaster, just think of it as an essential home safety upgrade. Here is exactly how this system works in practice. First, a specially installed fan pulls that radon-bearing soil air from directly beneath your concrete foundation. Second, that captured air is forced upward through a sealed vent pipe. And third, the poisonous gas exhausts safely above the roofline, diluting completely harmlessly into the outside atmosphere. It mechanically ensures that the gas is diverted. The vacuum effect of your house is essentially being overpowered by a stronger, intentional vacuum pulling the bad stuff outside. Now, a quick shout out and a warning for all the weekend DIYers out there. You might look at your basement and think, hey, I'll just buy some heavy-duty caulk and seal up those cracks. While sealing totally complements a mitigation system, doing it alone is kind of like putting a Band-Aid on a leaky submarine. When radon is driven by that vacuum pressure, that stack effect we talked about, simply caulking cracks is not enough to stop soil gas. The pressure will eventually find a way inside. Sealing is a great secondary step for sure, but it absolutely cannot replace the active fan system. Finally, Section 5, Hiring and Verification, Securing Your Home. Installing these systems involves modifying your foundation and routing exhaust pipes, which means you really need to hire a pro. The crucial part is knowing what to ask when you do. Here's a really actionable checklist straight from the experts. Ask them about the system design for your specific house's architecture. Ask about suction point selection, like where exactly are they pulling the air from? Ask about the exhaust discharge location. You want to make sure it's safely above the roofline, not venting near a second-story bedroom window. And most importantly, ask about post-installation verification. Asking these questions proves you've done your homework and puts you in the driver's seat.
And that leads perfectly into this absolute non-negotiable rule. Follow-up testing must be done. A mitigation project is not finished the moment the contractor packs up their tools and hands you the invoice. Nope. The project is only finished when the post-install test verifies that the radon levels have actually dropped to acceptable, safe ranges. You have to confirm the home is safe. Verification is honestly just as important as the installation itself. Let's bring it all together with a quote from our source material, which I think just brilliantly summarizes our entire journey today. It says, test your home. If results indicate elevated radon, mitigation can substantially reduce exposure by venting radon safely outdoors. That's the bottom line, right there. It's a completely manageable problem. You test to find out if the threat is there, and if it is, you use active mitigation to kick that threat outside. It is a straightforward path from uncertainty to total peace of mind. So I want to leave you with this one final provocative question. Have you tested your basement lately, or are you just assuming the air you breathe is safe? Remember, assumptions won't protect you from an invisible, odorless gas, but knowledge will. Make the decision today to gather the evidence, test your home, and ensure your living space is truly safe. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Now seriously, go get that test kit.